Our students come to us now wanting to learn about innovation, wanting to be innovative. They want to be leaders of the future. They don't want to be just siloed in one way of thinking or one way of approaching things. And so for Cal Poly to begin to emphasize this is speaking to the needs of the students.
Recon is a collaboration of high school teachers, high school students, and community members stretching all the way from Canada to Mexico to help us study the outer solar system.
The Recon project has given me hands-on, real science and real research experience that has helped me discover what I want to do after Cal Poly.
As engineers, we have to figure out what kind of work would provide meaningful contribution to the society.
Students are involved in every single aspect of what we're doing here in the lab. We can very much be a laboratory for people to say, what if? And we can answer that question.
Right now, we are trying to use cutting-edge technologies to monitor crops, to bring robotics to agriculture.
It's tricky because a lot of this technology is very advanced and the growers don't want to have to figure out how stuff works and go and try it out and test it. And I think having a clean system that just works, it really just will handle itself in the end.
We can provide a nurturing environment where students are comfortable to explore, but also with the fact that they might fail.
The challenge of this year has been pushing the envelope, to take the risks, to not worry about the grade that you're going to get per se, just to really discover something new that you've never made before, never maybe even thought could be made.
When you start looking at the work our students in the College of Liberal Arts are doing and the bridges that they're making between disciplines and majors, they're there as producers and creators, as well as students being positioned to provide the critical reflection we need to create better science and technology.
We have a creative student body. We have a student body who understands that the future is not only in their hands, their own future is in their hands. And so the more they can learn to be leaders, the more they can learn to be thinkers, the more they can learn to innovate, the best of them will learn so much from that, they will be the leaders of the future.
Wasn't that a great video? Just out of curiosity, how many of you heard our wonderful Forbes pipe organ for the first time? That's great. Let's give Paul Woodring another round of applause. So welcome and thank you for coming. I'm Phil Bailey. I'm Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics. And according to the invitation from the President's office, I'm one of the 4 fun reasons to come today. And I'm glad to see so many of you despite their questionable advertising. I'm ranked number 3 of the 4, beating out only the unveiling of the Cal Poly Mustang, of which it's a total mystery to me. Thankfully, you've already experienced the Forbes organ, and the reception after this session is always fun, exciting, interesting, and a time to be with one another in the Cal Poly community. If you're new to Cal Poly, welcome. You've come to a very special place, a university that's 115 years old. I'm qualified to proclaim the special nature of Cal Poly because I've been here 47 of those 115 years. This is my last year as Dean of the College of Science and Math, but I love it here. I'm not going anyplace. I'm going to stay on a part-time basis for years to come, I hope. Cal Poly... So, Cal Poly was a busy place this summer, as you may know from having looked at the provost office hours video. Despite spending much of the summer on campus, there are a lot of us that haven't seen what's gone on in Grand Avenue all summer and the progress on construction of the residence halls because the road's been closed all summer. Wow, though, what a change. And what an opportunity for our students to have that additional residence halls and brand new. And you may have noticed that Vista Grande restaurant, it's almost completely demolished now. How many of you were here at Cal Poly when Vista Grande opened? There are a few. That's 43 years ago. I was here. How many of you were here when the Kennedy Library opened and it was dedicated? There are a few. Oh, a library person. That was in 1981. Let's try this one. How many of you were here when the McPhee University Union was completed and opened? There's a few. I wasn't. But I came the next year, 1969. Like this summer, there have been many changes at Cal Poly over the years, but our core values have always remained the same, and our sense of community is strong. And that's what today's general session is about. We have the opportunity to meet many students, faculty, staff, and administration, and honor some who have especially represented the values and excellence of our university. And I'm surely looking forward to that as we go through the program. But before we do that, let me start by introducing some of our campus leaders, and I would ask as I call your name for you to stand and wave, and I would ask the rest of you, you can wait till we're all done before you applaud. They don't each need individual applause. Do you, Don? No. Okay, first, President Armstrong, Jeff Armstrong. No. I heard someone start. Kathleen N. Spinkin, our provost. Cindy Villa, Senior Vice President for Administration and Finance. Keith Humphrey, Vice President for Student Affairs. Andy Thulin, Dean of the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences. Christine Theodoropoulos, Dean of the College of Architecture and Environmental Design. Deb Larson, Dean of the College of Engineering. Doug Epperson, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts. Bill Britton, our Chief Information Officer. Now, well, he isn't even here. Go ahead. Jean DaCosta, Acting Chief Diversity Officer. There you are, Jean. George Hughes, Chief of Police, sitting right next to our Athletic Director, Don Oberhelman, for good reason. I got to learn to be careful. There just isn't enough time between here and here, sorry. Jessica Darren, Chief of Staff, and Chris Murphy, the Chief Communications Officer. So now you can do it. Thank you. So I'm pleased now to introduce our first three speakers. They'll represent the Labor Council, our students, and the Academic Senate. And I would ask that each of you come to the stage when I introduce you. Those are explicit instructions. I don't know why we have to be so explicit, but we'll try with Joan. First, representing the Labor Council is Joan Kennedy. Joan is a library services specialist who is starting her 33rd year at Cal Poly. Good, Joan.
I always have to adjust this for short people. Let's see. Yay, short people. Welcome to Fall Conference. I'm happy to see so many familiar faces. Let's get this show on the road. 4 years ago, my welcome message was, "We're all in this together." 2 years ago, my welcome message was creating a cohesive campus community. This year, I would like to combine those two themes to address campus climate. Here's how we can do it together. We must aggressively address the results of the campus climate survey that we took 2 years ago, which clearly revealed that 20% of employees, both staff and faculty, had witnessed or had been involved in a hostile work environment. How do we address it? This fall, a subgroup from the original Campus Climate Task Force will partner with the Office of Diversity and Inclusivity to present campus climate goals that will facilitate respect, foster inclusion, ensure equity, and cultivate diversity. Here's an example. Last spring, the Office of Diversity and Inclusivity sponsored a microaggression workshop. This workshop educated us by defining the levels of microaggression and how employees either consciously or unconsciously may use hostile or derogatory language without even knowing it. Before this workshop, I had never heard of microaggression. You may say, why is this important? So let's review some national statistics. Nationally, 1 in 10 U.S. workers say they are being bullied in the workplace. 45% say they have been bullied at some point during their career. And another 25% say they have witnessed workplace bullying. So as you can see, we are below the national average, but we have a long way to go. The more we know, the wiser we are to address it when we see it and when we hear it. These upcoming workshops and focus groups are planned for fall, winter, and spring that will give us the tools to recognize the difference. For it's complicated. Not every action that is reported is hostile. Some is just plain rude, insensitive, or unprofessional. In order for us to continue to provide excellent service for our students, let's continue to nurture the seeds of building a cohesive campus community. For we're all in this together. A healthy campus climate creates a healthy and productive workforce. In closing, I'd like to take a moment of personal privilege to acknowledge one of our guests that couldn't be with us today, Assemblyman Cacho Asadian. I want to personally thank Cacho for representing the citizens of the Central Coast, Cal Poly, and his support for increased funding to the CSU. His professionalism and positive communication style should serve as a role model that others should aspire to. We thank you for your continuing support for Cal Poly and its students. Thank you very much. Have a good year.
Thank you, Joan. So next, we have our ASI Student Body President, Jana Colombini. Jana is a fourth-year student from Linden, California, majoring in agricultural sciences. Now, though I've been here 47 years and Joan 33, Jana represents the third generation in her family to attend Cal Poly. Her grandfather, father, 2 uncles, 1 cousin, and a brother. She's the 7th. Welcome, Jana.
Hello, everyone. Like Dean Bailey just said, my name is Jana Colombini, and I am the 2016-2017 ASI president. Being a third-generation Cal Poly student, learn by doing is something that I was exposed to at a very young age. Over the years, it became second nature to me, and it was incorporated in my everyday life. Now that I'm a student here at Cal Poly, though, learn by doing means so much more to me. To me, it separates and defines this university from others. And you are the caretakers of Learn by Doing. And I'd like to thank you and commend you for keeping this philosophy alive here. Without your perseverance throughout Cal Poly's history, we would not be as great as we are right now. Another reason why I love Cal Poly so much is because over my past few years here, I've been able to build relationships with faculty and staff. With smaller class sizes and many extracurricular opportunities compared to other universities, students are able to establish relationships with you. That's another thing that I would like to say thank you for. Your commitment every day to give students that extra one-on-one time is invaluable, and it's something that doesn't happen at just any university, and honestly, it really means the world to us. As students, we see your passions, and we appreciate that you are willing to share those passions with us. We can see that you genuinely care about our success, and you have made higher education and student success your life's work. You serve as our role models and our mentors, and I know you may not want to hear this, but sometimes even our parents away from home, to be honest. But nevertheless, you are always some of our greatest supporters. I know that sometimes you feel like students aren't really paying attention to what you have to say, but trust me when I say we actually are, at least 9 times out of 10, and those are pretty good odds. So please remember that you really do make an impact in our lives, and you are helping create a brighter future. I know that students and my constituents never really thank you enough for your commitment to our success. So in advance, and on behalf of the entire student body, first, sorry for the stress that we can sometimes place in your life, but also, thank you so much for everything that you do for us and making our college experience so much better, and just Cal Poly in general. You really make Cal Poly, and students are forever thankful for that. So please, throughout this year, don't forget how much you really do mean the world to us, and we appreciate you so much. I hope everyone has a spectacular year. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. And next we have the chair of our academic senate, Gary Laver. He's a professor of psychology and child development in the College of Liberal Arts. He came to Cal Poly in 1991. Gary.
Thank you. Welcome and welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope your summer was as productive or as therapeutic as you hoped. Anyone whose summer included even the briefest visit to campus couldn't help but notice all the activity that cropped up, from dorms to road repair to restaurants. There's lots of building on campus these days. What strikes me, though, is that this isn't just a physical reality. It's a good metaphor for Cal Poly in general. In fact, there's been substantive planning and construction for some time concerning the campus's intellectual infrastructure. Cal Poly has a comprehensive master plan soon to be submitted. The details of President Armstrong's vision for Cal Poly's future will be the subject of discussion this fall among the faculty and staff. And campus efforts continue in earnest towards promoting diversity within the curriculum and among all of us who attend or work at Cal Poly. And while we're reflecting on the recent past, let's take a moment to appreciate the resolve that led to our current faculty contract. For its part in all the campus activity, the Academic Senate this year will consider some questions of broad impact. In the spirit with which all campus academic programs are evaluated, GE underwent external review last year, and as you would expect, the report described a successful and ambitious program, but it also included suggestions for improvement. And Cal Poly now has the task of exploring how to take GE forward. In consultation with the Senate, the Provost's office will be forming a campus task force on how to best respond to the review, and the Senate looks forward to a proposal for improving GE that maintains the important balance between general education and the major disciplines, as well as between interdisciplinary study and a respect for disciplinary expertise. Through a Senate task force this year, the campus will also explore improvements to program review efforts. And there are plenty of other things in the works. Time does not permit me to cover. Of course, the Senate's 13 standing committees, in addition to its various task forces, all deserve public recognition of the work they do year in and year out. I cannot thank them enough. All of this campus vitality is particularly heartening when reflecting on the tough years from which we have emerged. Perhaps it is now safe to say that the latest dip in what seems to be a never-ending economic roller coaster is squarely behind us, and I applaud the administration's efforts to develop Cal Poly's financial stability. Indeed, at its retreat tomorrow, the Senate will discuss its sense of where future enhanced revenues might be applied. In any event, there is no question that Cal Poly has emerged with an impressive amount of momentum. The job now before us all is the proper direction of this energy in strengthening Cal Poly's programs, and in the continued recruitment of the best and brightest faculty, staff, and students. The Academic Senate is committed to this effort through shared governance. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. It's now time to recognize our faculty and staff award winners. And I'm pleased to introduce the Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Kathleen Ann Spinkin, and our President, Jeffrey Armstrong, who will congratulate each of the awardees. And Kathleen has some opening remarks.
Thank you, Phil. Good afternoon, colleagues and friends. Today we are celebrating individual achievement, but our faculty and staff awards also remind us of the excellence in every college and division across this university. The awards are not just about acknowledging and celebrating the extraordinary. They are also about celebrating what for some of our colleagues is the ordinary, consistent, expected, and appreciated excellence and service day in and day out. It is particularly meaningful that people are nominated by their peers, their colleagues, and in the case of the Distinguished Teaching and Outstanding Faculty Advisor Awards, their students. I want to thank everyone who nominated someone for an award. Our award winners are not out doing what they do for recognition and attention, but it's nice when they receive it. I encourage everyone here to take time each day to recognize and thank our hardworking, accomplished, and dedicated staff and faculty. We all appreciate our jobs more and our careers more if we feel like we're making a difference. And it feels really good when someone else is telling you, yes, you are making a positive difference. So thank you.
So here's how we're going to do this. For each of the awardees, a nominator will describe the accomplishments and reasons for the nomination. The president and provost will congratulate the recipient and present the award. And the awardees, you can nod and smile. Okay? We will start with the Distinguished Scholars. Our three winners will receive the Distinguished Scholarship Award that reads, "In recognition of your research, contributions to knowledge and student experience, mentoring, and commitment to learn by doing." First up, Peggy Papathakis from Food Science and Nutrition in the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences, and her nominator emeritus, Professor Louise Berner. See how they got up here so quickly? We all practiced it at 1:30, every one of them.
Good afternoon. I'm proud to say a few words about Peggy Papathakis, driven by compassion, risk taker, and energizer bunny. Evidence of her scholarship is impressive. External funding, collaborations with world-renowned researchers and agencies, a clinical trial in Malawi with more than 1,800 pregnant women, many dozens of students involved here and in Africa, faculty colleagues engaged, and so on, all in just 10 years. You can learn more at her campus talk in a few weeks and in the program notes, but I want to go back to those personal characteristics that distinguish Peggy. Deep compassion, motivated by concern for others. In all her research, she asks, how can we improve maternal and child health for disadvantaged populations? For students, Peggy asks, how can I enhance their learn by doing, and how can I enhance their personal growth? She's a risk taker, working in challenging conditions in Malawi, analyzing a complex WIC data set with more than 60,000 subjects, pursuing international research when sometimes the infrastructure and support weren't totally there. Peggy just dives in. Finally, that Energizer Bunny part. I get tired just thinking about what she's achieved as a truly excellent teacher and researcher in just 10 years, and it's all balanced beautifully with what I know she views as her most important roles as a wife of a Cal Poly grad, a mom, one of three as a Cal Poly grad, let's see, wedding planner, mother-in-law, grandmother, and a generous friend to many. Please join me in congratulating Peggy Papathakis, Cal Poly alum and distinguished scholar.
The next awardee in this category is William Simbiada from City and Regional Planning and the College of Architecture and Environmental Design, and his nominator is Ryan Alanis from Social Sciences.
Good afternoon. The importance of Dr. Simbiada's theoretical and applied scholarship has been recognized nationally and internationally for nearly 3 decades. His academic research has been published in the top disaster journals in the world. Similarly, Bill's applied work in the area of mitigation continues to be used here in San Luis Obispo, in the state of California, and in faraway places like Chile, Japan, and the Philippines. Most recently, he was a key contributor to our policy brief requested by the White House, which informed Obama's presidential memorandum on drought. Dr. Simbiada has also inspired the next generation of disaster and urban planning undergraduates and graduate students, myself included. After graduation, many go on to work as policymakers, have careers in the nonprofit and private sector, or engage in disaster mitigation and planning in the U.S. and abroad. Indeed, Bill is an exemplar of what academics should be: brilliant, hardworking, student-oriented, supportive of colleagues, and engaged in inquiry for the development of theory and for the public good. Bill, on behalf of the thousands of students, disaster researchers, and practitioners around the world, and innumerable disaster survivors who were able to build back better because of your work, thank you.
Thank you.
One of our distinguished scholarship awardee winners could not be here. I want to acknowledge political science professor Ronald Deotter, who was nominated by his colleague Michael Moore. We will now recognize the 3 winners of the Distinguished Teaching Award. As a reminder to all of you, the winners, the people that nominate the Distinguished Teaching, are students here at Cal Poly. The award they will receive reads, "In recognition of your excellence in teaching, contributions to student engagement and achievement, innovative instruction, and commitment to student success." First up is Robert Clark from Kinesiology. That's slowing it down. His nominator graduated already, and stepping in to speak on his behalf are students Isaac Gomez and Grace Privet. Isaac is a senior kinesiology major, and Grace is in the kinesiology master's degree program.
When you think back to your favorite professors of the past, you can probably place them in one of 2 categories. The first, you either love them because they gave you an A, or, like Dr. Clark, you love them because they pushed you further, they challenged you, and they always encouraged discussion punctuated with disagreement, as Dr. Clark likes to say. The students here at Cal Poly love and respect Dr. Clark for the latter reason, of course. And for some of us, we were lucky enough for him to squeeze into both categories. Thank you, Dr. Clark. You truly deserve this.
Dr. Clark has played a crucial role in my graduate studies here at Cal Poly. With his guidance over the past year, I've developed my skills as a lab instructor and have begun navigating the arduous process of writing a thesis. Yet I am only one of the many students who have benefited from his mentorship, dedication to teaching, learn by doing mentality, and fantastic free body diagrams. Dr. Clark exemplifies what it means to serve the students of Cal Poly, making him a very distinguished member of this community. Congratulations, Dr. Clark.
Next up, we have Karen Munoz Christian from Modern Languages and Literature in the College of Liberal Arts. Her nominator, Karina Gonzalez, graduated last spring in Liberal Studies and is now in the Multiple Subject Credential Program. That's cool.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Like Dean Bailey just said, my name is Corina Gonzalez, and I'm from the small town of Hollister, California. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to present or introduce Dr. Karen Munoz Christian for this award. Last fall quarter, I had her for 2 classes, Contemporary Caribbean Literature and Advanced Language and Composition. And at first, I was hesitant to take 2 classes with a teacher I hadn't known before, but it ended up being an excellent decision. As her student, I can attest that Dr. Munoz Christian holds very high expectations for her students and for herself. She makes class a safe place to engage in collaborative discussions regarding historical and current event issues. As well as this, she encompasses learn by doing by providing many opportunities for her students to provide service in local elementary and high schools with Spanish-speaking students. Overall, taking 1 class or even, frankly, 1 conversation with Dr. Munoz Christian will add to students' worldview and help them see what they can do to improve society. Thank you.
And finally, for the Distinguished Teaching Award, we have Soma Roy from the Statistics Department in the College of Science and Mathematics. Her nominator has also graduated. Speaking on her behalf today is Katie Feely, a senior statistics major.
Dr. Roy taught the first statistics class I took at Cal Poly. Going into the year, I was unsure if the major was right for me and planned to switch eventually. Word on the street is that statistics isn't thought of too fondly, if you can imagine that. But thanks to Dr. Roy, my outlook changed quickly. One of our first assignments was to write a paper not on the field of study, but on us, the students. I remember being so surprised a professor would care so much about their students as individuals. I'm in college. Aren't I just a number in a sea of people? Not with Dr. Roy. She shatters that stereotype by continuing to make herself available to her students, no matter the issue. Throughout the variety of classroom activities, it was so clear Dr. Roy had a passion for statistics and teaching it as well. Her enthusiasm inspired me to carry on with the program, and I'm lucky to have been first introduced to the field through her eyes. And with that, I would like to congratulate Dr. Roy on receiving this award and for making such a significant impact on students' lives like mine.
Next, we will recognize the 3 winners of the Outstanding Staff Award, which reads, in recognition of your outstanding dedication, commitment, expertise, contributions, and teamwork. First up is Lonnie Ginn, an instructional support technician from Horticultural and Crop Sciences in the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences, and his nominator is Emeritus Professor Bill Kellogg.
Good afternoon, everyone. Through his work with students during his Cal Poly tenure, Lonnie is one of those persons who has created and sustained Cal Poly's wonderful reputation throughout the agricultural industry in California. Along with other job responsibilities, Lonnie assists students and faculty with production enterprise projects. These projects are extremely important to the student learning and a hallmark of Cal Poly's Learn by Doing philosophy. He is committed to students and sees their learning experiences as paramount to the students' success. For 16 years, Lonnie has been the advisor to the State FFA Vegetable Judging Contest. In this role, he and Cal Poly students conduct the contest that names the state champion for the state of California and its 325 high schools. This is a very high-profile activity for Cal Poly. Lonnie's ability to complete his work has always impressed us here at Cal Poly. He always does it with a heartfelt smile and a willingness to set aside his projects to assist others. Lonnie, congratulations.
Next is Ray Kish, also an instructional support technician, but from industrial technology in the Orfalea College of Business. His nominator, Professor Eric Olson, actually one of several nominators, is an area chair and in industrial technology.
Well, I'm pleased to introduce our Industrial Technology and Packaging Manager, Ray Kish. I feel especially fortunate to have Ray on our team. You know, some of us can talk about what it means to be an outstanding employee. Some of us in the College of Business can even teach about it, but Ray lives it. I will often be in my office, buried in a string of emails, and at some point I'll look up, just see Ray standing patiently at my door. That's the opening. Ray is checking in. The conversation starts and the ideas start to flow. What if we started an open lab for students? I think we could have the safest lab on campus if we just use this new approach. The students are really excited about this new packaging contest, and I think I can help them. If we align this shop certification requirement across campus, our students would get access to a more diverse set of tools. Ray has the ideas, but he also is that rare individual that can make things happen. And he's made a lot of things happen for us in industrial technology and packaging, for Cal Poly, and most of all for the students. He did it through his own hard work and through the connections and friendships he's built across campus, and all this with integrity and a heart for students. The best part about being here as Ray receives this award is that I feel like he's just getting started. Ray, congratulations.
Finally, in this category, please welcome Alexandra Kohler, Assistant Director of Campus Health and Wellbeing, and her nominator, Executive Director of Campus Health and Wellbeing, David Harris.
Good afternoon. I am very proud to have been able to nominate Alex and absolutely thrilled that she won. Attempting to describe anyone in mere words is a daunting task. I'm going to start with a single descriptor and see where it will lead, much like you'd assemble a floral bouquet, one blossom at a time. Perception is important in assessing the environment and situations around you. Teaming accurate perception with other skills like critical thinking, insight, honesty, hard work, tenacity, organizational skills, integrity, and dedication all add to our bouquet of descriptors. To add more color, we can insert selflessness, a soft demeanor, a quick smile, a supportive word, and a compassionate understanding for the people and conditions around her. What she brings with her to work every day are all of these traits that we have mentioned, and many more, bound together with a common twine, a devotion to ensure that every patient and client is provided with our best efforts. And finally, she continues to motivate us with her most brilliant of traits, her example. Congratulations, Alex.
Next, we recognize the recipient of the Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award, Janelle Navarro, a faculty member in Ethnic Studies. Her award reads, "In recognition of your contribution to student success through academic advising, mentoring, and career guidance to help students build real-world skills." Janelle was nominated by 7 students, and speaking on her behalf today is Yahia Ira Perdomo, a junior majoring in comparative ethnic studies.
As being one of the 7 who nominated Professor Navarro, it brings me great joy to be able to tell you thank you and congratulations, and that we truly appreciate what you do. I nominated you because I saw the ability that you have to communicate with all of your students, to be able to show them that they can follow their dreams, and for guiding them and for helping us see where we should be and with the goals that we told you about while we were here at Cal Poly for the ones that graduated. I also would like to say that I nominated you because of how much of your passion that you show throughout all of the time that you're here with us on campus, off campus, since you've also contacted us off campus plenty of times. And just say thank you for everything.
As we just recognized the Outstanding Advisor recipient, I'd like to take just a second here to emphasize the importance of our faculty and staff in mentoring students to success. All of us are advisors, and I want to especially say that to the staff because a lot of student assistants work for you, you're wonderful role models, and you can be exceptional mentors. But it's important that we realize that there are some students that find themselves in the shadows. And I want to give you some examples that I read to the College of Science and Math at our meeting this morning. These are students who have written to us about their academic probation status in December and in June to explain what their struggles are. And so let me start. Here's one. Being the only African American in all my classes, I let my foolish pride prevent me from seeking help, as I did not want to be viewed as the black kid who needs to be treated differently. Another one, my parents are not college educated. Each work 60+ hours a week. As the oldest son, I have always had the pressure to graduate from college to better the socioeconomic status of my family. Another, being a first-generation student, I don't have my family to go to for advice. Here's one. I am receiving financial aid from Cal Poly, but I have to help my parents pay bills, house payments, and buy food. Because of family issues, I never have enough money to pay fees on time. I have to crash classes, but by the time I get a full load, I'm a week behind and will not receive my books for yet another week. Here's one from a student writing in behalf of a student subject to disqualification. I just graduated this past weekend from Cal Poly. What an amazing feeling. But my friend is struggling. He didn't graduate today as we had hoped for so long. He and I both came from the same tough neighborhood, have families that depend on us, and we are first-generation college students fighting for a better life. By the way, her friend graduated 2 quarters later. There's no other way out for me. I don't want to go back home where someone is always getting jumped or shot at, where drugs and alcohol are the biggest thing around, and where everyone is living paycheck to paycheck. This is my dream school, and I want to prove that you were right in accepting me. My parents see me as a financial anchor. I love my parents and I'm grateful for everything they've given me, but in a misconstrued way, I'm ashamed that I do not have someone to support me. It's not just the financial aspect, but the emotional support as well. I love my parents, but I've come to accept that I will not find this type of support as they just don't understand what I'm trying to do. Another, I lived in a garage this past quarter. Another, I didn't live in my car because I spent most of my time on campus, but I didn't have a place to sleep. With 8 meals a day last quarter, I was constantly hungry. Now, we at Cal Poly have programs to help students in distress. We have food vouchers, we have the food pantry, we have Cal Poly Cares. But the personal attention that we can give as faculty and staff and administrative members of our community can't be overestimated. These students are proud to have been accepted to Cal Poly. They want to be Cal Poly graduates. We don't want to lose them. We accepted them, and we should do everything we possibly can to graduate them. If we believe in them, they will believe in themselves. Thank you. Next, we will recognize the 2 teams who won the Learn by Doing Scholar Award. First, in the category of planned and in-progress research for an application called Cal Poly Studio Chemistry, an examination of student outcomes, we recognize faculty members Alan Keist and Greg Scott from the Chemistry and Biochemistry Department in the College of Science and Mathematics. Speaking on their behalf is Department Chair Seth Bush.
That's a tough act to follow there. I'm humbled to have an opportunity to share a few words about Dr. Keist and Dr. Scott as they are recognized for their work helping develop the next generation of our general chemistry studio, which hosts about 5,000 students a year from just about every college on campus. The best way I can describe Alan and Greg's work on Studio 2.0 is that it is learned by doing cubed. So apologies to the math folks, I'm ruining terms here. Apologies to the rest of you, I'm geeking out, but what are you going to do? First, the curriculum they've helped develop has further removed the wall between lecture and lab, making learning general chemistry a hands-on, minds-on, collaborative process for the students we serve, learn by doing to the first. Second, they have engaged undergraduate researchers in a rigorous study of this studio approach, allowing students to develop science education research skills while contributing to the body of knowledge about research-based science teaching practices, learn by doing squared. Last, but certainly not least, the space they've helped create has given our faculty an opportunity to develop as teachers, learning to be more effective, more inclusive, and to think beyond direct instruction. And because of the Learning Assistant Program they've helped develop, our upper division undergraduates have this opportunity to learn too, learn by doing cubed. Alan and Greg, while we stand on the broad shoulders of the studio pioneers that have come before us, I thank you for pushing this work forward, continuing to make learn by doing more than an abstract set of words on paper. Thank you.
Next, in the category of published research for an application called Inquiry-Based Learning Activities and Dynamics, please welcome faculty members Brian Self and Jim Widman from Mechanical Engineering in the College of Engineering. Speaking on their behalf is Department Chair James Maher.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be able to introduce this year's award winners for the Learn by Doing Faculty Scholarship Award. This year, the award is appropriately awarded to 2 individuals who have collaborated over many years, my colleagues, Dr. Jim Widman and Brian Self of the Mechanical Engineering Department. To earn this award, Dr. Self and Widman have explored the importance of active learning on student success. They've written about it extensively and given many workshops in order to share their pedagogical methods. I invite you to read more about it in the program. Both are passionate about student success. Like many in this room, Jim and Brian did not choose teaching as a profession. It chose them. They teach because it's who they are. We are fortunate to have them at Cal Poly, and I would like to add my congratulations for the great service they provide our students.
Last but not least is the Provost Award for Partnership and Philanthropy, which reads, recognizing a visionary leader who forged critical partnerships to advance the mission of Cal Poly. I'd bring to the front Dennis Derrickson, Department Chair of Electrical Engineering, and his nominator from the College of Engineering, Dean Deb Larson.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be able to be here to introduce our Dr. Dennis Derrickson, who is chair for the Department of Electrical Engineering. In addition to this award that we'll talk a tiny bit about, I do want to tell everybody that Dennis is starting his 7th year as department chair, and that in itself is a great accomplishment. So, in addition to myself, Assistant Dean Richie Leroy has also helped to prepare this nomination, and I'd like to recognize Richie's help with that. I am truly proud of Dennis's accomplishments in building partnerships, developing strategies, and embracing alumni and friends. These efforts have directly benefited the department and its students through the gifts that refresh and rebuild the department's teaching labs and support the project experiences of our students. In addition, Dennis honors those who have come before us by creating and hosting the annual department reunion for alumni who graduated 50 years earlier. Please take a moment to read about Dr. Derrickson's accomplishments in the pamphlet. What's not in your briefing, however, is something that I would like to share with you today. Dennis exudes pure joy when he is organizing events and sharing a vision about the department to others. He has fun, and his love of electrical engineering and Cal Poly is infectious. It is so hard not to be drawn in. He uses tools such as trombones and marching band costumes and photo booths and even Arduino programmable boards to help spread that fun and even to our alumni. It is partnering and friend-raising is a virtuous cycle of joy for Dennis and Cal Poly. Please join me in recognizing Dr. Derrickson's contributions to the university, college, department, and its students.
Why don't we take a second here and just give all of the awardees, we're done, let's give all of the awardees a big round of applause. Good job. I've had the privilege of working with 3 outstanding presidents during my 47 years at Cal Poly. President Kennedy, for whom Kennedy Library is named, and by the way, Dean of Science and Mathematics, Clyde Fisher of Fisher Hall, the 2 of them hired me in 1969. Bob Kennedy was president for 12 years, following the 33-year presidency of Julian McPhee, for whom the University Union is named. Warren Baker followed Bob Kennedy, and the Baker Center is named for him. He served as president for 31 years. Jeff Armstrong is in his 6th year as president of our university. And I want to just say, I've gotten to know Jeff very, very well. I really appreciate his active engagement and genuine concern for all members of the Cal Poly community, faculty, staff, and students, and especially his attention to students in need. I'm just going to give you one example. Just last week, he exchanged texts with a recent graduate who was stressed and seeking advice. She was an undocumented student while at Cal Poly. He put her in touch with someone on campus to help her improve her resume and give advice on employment opportunities. I personally witnessed this, as she had texted me as well, and I can guarantee you this is one of many, many instances where Jeff has stepped out, taken a personal interest in our students and our faculty and staff as well. I'm pleased to introduce my friend, President Jeff Armstrong, for the keynote address.
Thank you very much, Phil. Colleagues, while we're here today to celebrate you, our faculty and staff, I'd like to take a moment before I get into my prepared remarks to address two tragedies that occurred recently. As many of you are likely aware, there was a tragic death reported on campus earlier this week. We learned yesterday that the individual's name is Robert Sean Douglas Aversano, a Cuesta student whose father is a lecturer at Cal Poly in the Natural Resources Management and Environmental Sciences Department. Earlier this summer, Cal Poly also lost second-year engineering student Elvis Tran to unknown causes, making his loss difficult to understand. Our hearts and our thoughts go out to both the Aversano and Tran family. I would now like to ask each of you to join me in just a brief moment of silence in remembrance of these two students and respect for their families. Thank you. And thank you all for being here today. This house is full, and with our new LED lights, I think you've noticed the green and gold. I want to add my personal congratulations to our award winners. You inspire us, and you make us Cal Poly proud. Thank you. Well done. Let's give them another round of applause. I also want to recognize my best friend and a person who inspires me and keeps me straight every day, Sharon Armstrong. I think we have several community leaders who are with us today: Mayor Jan Marks, City Council Member John Ashbaugh, and County Supervisor Adam Hill. Let's give them a round of applause. And our message to the city, the county, and others: we stand ready to work with you to move forward and enhance economic development and quality of life in our community. And that also means diversity and inclusion. So again, thank you again for being here. I want to offer a special welcome to our new faculty and staff, many of whom we entertained yesterday at the University House. Would our new faculty and staff, would you please stand or wave? Let's get a feel for where you are. Yeah. Welcome. I know everyone is busy getting ready for the start of the fall quarter. There's a palpable and growing energy on our campus, and we're all looking forward to the return of our students, and that starts tomorrow. But that's not to say that summers are quiet on Cal Poly's campus. Over summer, there were faculty and students conducting research side by side, staff attending to maintenance of our buildings and grounds, staff and faculty supporting a host of summer programs, orientations, and camps, and all of the work it takes to close one academic and fiscal year and get ready for the next. Thank you to everyone in this room for your hard work throughout the entire year and for your collective focus on academic excellence on this beautiful residential campus. Starting tomorrow, we will welcome the best entering class in Cal Poly's history. Nearly 57,000 students applied for admission this fall. That's a new record. Our entering class also has the highest academic profile ever for both first-time freshmen and transfer students. And each year we become a more diverse and inclusive campus. This also marks the 24th year in a row that we've been named the best public masters in the West by U.S. News and World Report. And I also just received word the other day that our 6-year graduation rate has exceeded 80% and now stands at 82%. Give yourselves a round of applause on that one. Because these are all testaments to you. Cal Poly is getting better every year because of your passion and your commitment to your focus on the student of each, on the success, your focus on the success of each and every student, to your field, to your research, to your hard work inside and outside the classroom, as we heard from one of the nominators. When I arrived at Cal Poly in 2011, people told me that faculty and staff have a very high level of engagement with our students. I quickly learned that that was correct. I can tell you, as someone that has worked at several universities, that the ways in which you support and mentor our students is rare and is absolutely critical to their success and the success of Cal Poly. However, we cannot just assume that history will repeat itself. Cal Poly's future, our students' future, California's future, depends on continual assessment, adjustment, and focus. It depends on listening to each other and learning from each other. Our future depends on thoughtful and careful planning. 5 years ago, as part of the WASC accreditation process, we were deep in conversations about what it means to be a comprehensive polytechnic university in the 21st century. Back then, the Academic Senate also approved a resolution endorsing a draft strategic plan as, quote, an emerging framework to provide planning at Cal Poly, end quote. Although not itself a plan, the framework was a great start. Then, in 2014, I presented Vision 2022 to the campus, which resulted from many conversations, listening sessions, and consultations, including challenging conversations we had as a campus regarding quarters versus semesters. Now, while I stirred the pot, so to speak, by asking the question about quarters versus semesters, I now stand before you as a proponent of the academic value of Cal Poly staying on quarters. You're supposed to applaud. We then used Vision 2022 to develop both our academic enrollment plan and our master plan. Finally, last year, the Academic Senate wisely passed a resolution about the need for a strategic plan. So today, following all of that planning and discussion, I offer to the campus community an initial draft strategic plan available for comment from everyone this fall. Your leadership team and I need and deeply value input from all campus stakeholders, alumni, and supporters and students on this plan. As I go out and talk with people from industry, potential donors, and others, I tell them that over 900 people advise our students and have a hand in their success. We are seeking feedback on this strategic plan from all of them, our faculty and staff, our emeritus faculty and staff, students, alumni, friends of Cal Poly, and the people of San Luis Obispo City and County. We have created a website on which we'll find both the initial draft strategic plan and a feedback page. Today, you will receive an email from me with a link to that plan. Please use that page to provide us with your written input anytime during the fall quarter. In the winter quarter, after review of the feedback and incorporation of changes, we will hold forums for discussing and improving the plan. In spring, we will invite the Academic Senate and ASI to formally respond to the plan if they so desire. We will also be dedicating significant time during winter and spring to working with campus stakeholders on a path for implementing the strategic plan, timelines for strategic initiatives, and assessing our progress. So as we thought about this initial draft strategic plan, we began by asking two questions. What is the source of our success at Cal Poly? Second, what can we learn from the planning activities to which you have all contributed in the past 5 years? The answer to the first question about the source of Cal Poly's success was easy to find. Throughout Cal Poly's 115-year history, the source of our success has been our Learn by Doing pedagogy. We were established as a residential Learn by Doing institution designed to provide critically needed agricultural education to Californians. There were many hard times in the 20th century for Cal Poly, with the institution nearly closing on a few occasions due to the high cost of Learn by Doing. However, strong leadership and the selfless commitment of our faculty, staff, students, and supporters made it possible for us to endure to become the comprehensive polytechnic university that we are today. The draft strategic plan makes this an historic moment. Cal Poly has approved only one strategic plan before this day in 1993. So this initial draft strategic plan I offer you today, in the full spirit of collaboration, is based on the simple premise that Learn by Doing is the wellspring of our success. We have been successful by building our curriculum, policies, practices, and identity based on our unique Learn by Doing pedagogy. When I visit donors and alumni, that's where we go. Learn by Doing is in our DNA. With all of this in mind, I had a strategic planning retreat last winter with your leadership team. At the retreat, we reviewed all of the divisional, college, and unit strategic plans and mission and vision statements. We also reviewed Vision 2022, our accreditation documents, and our other documents from the past 5 years. Based on these documents and the commitments to Learn by Doing, we agreed to 6 overarching university goals, which are as follows. 1, nurture the campus community. 2, foster inclusion and diversity. 3, enhance student success. 4, enhance faculty and staff success. 5, develop financial sustainability. And 6, engage in capital improvement and address deferred maintenance and infrastructure. Last spring, I then presented these goals to the President's Leadership Council. The PLC is a group of approximately 100 Cal Poly faculty, staff, and students. I asked them to develop high-level objectives, strategy, and metrics for each of these 6 goals. Over this summer, we took their suggestions, and working with your leadership team, we drafted the initial strategic plan to prepare it for your input this fall quarter. Now, I don't want to say too much about the initial draft here, because it's important that you review it yourselves without my interference. There are a few things that I do want to highlight. First and foremost, as I've said before, we are a Learn by Doing university. We provide our students with an extraordinary opportunity to fail safely as they learn and then to succeed. What we offer our students is what so many universities are now saying that they want to offer to their students. For this reason and for many others, it is appropriate that our strategic plan be based on what we have always done so well. Second, you'll notice in the plan that among many objectives and strategies, we have included language about salaries. I deeply appreciate the unique opportunity to serve as your president. I'm always humbled by and I take great pride in how much you accomplish in your programs and units. Today, I want to tell you that I will continue to work tirelessly to get you salaries that are not only commensurate with the quality of the programs that you develop and support, but to make sure these salaries are consistent with the cost of living in our community. This is very important for us for the future. A key suggestion that we make in the initial draft plan is that your departments, colleges, units, that you identify peer departments at other institutions and make benchmark comparisons adjusted for the cost of living, benchmark comparisons in salaries. There's no single university like Cal Poly. We learned this in 2011 as we tried unsuccessfully to develop a list of peer institutions. Consequently, I think we need to look at peer departments, colleges, units to make our comparisons rather than whole universities, whole institutions. This is very important. Also in the initial draft plan is a commitment to housing all first and second year students on campus. We have been tracking the retention rate of students who live on campus for 2 years versus 1 year. The research clearly shows that our retention rates improve significantly if students live on campus their first and second years. We know in addition that our retention rates are lower for students that are first generation, low income, or STEM majors, and we are committed to eliminating this gap. Dean Bailey gave you some really clear examples of some of these students. Our preliminary evidence suggests that living on campus for 2 years can eliminate this gap. Consequently, our 5-year goal is to house all first and second year students by 2021. House them all on campus. Now, let me be very clear about this objective. It's not small. It is possible through public-private partnerships that we can add the over 2,000 beds necessary to reach this goal. That's 2,000 beds. And I would also note that this is 2,000 beds above and beyond the current construction that's going on the corner of Grand and Slack. Now, I think you will also not be surprised at all that in this initial draft strategic plan is an emphasis on diversity and inclusion. We value diversity at Cal Poly because we value each and every human being. We value inclusion for the very same reason. We are not currently planning to grow. Chancellor White has referenced access to quality and completion. Access at Cal Poly is access to a team of faculty and staff dedicated to helping students thrive in their major areas of study and then excel in their professional and personal lives. While we are not planning to grow, we are always planning to provide access to students from all demographics. This diversity requires that we intentionally work together to be inclusive. Let me take just a few minutes to talk about inclusion and what it means to me. Inclusion is about respecting oneself and others regardless of our differences. There are many kinds of respect. The kind of respect I am talking about, though, in connection with diversity and inclusion, is a basic respect for others that we owe each other in virtue of the fact that we are each human beings. This means respecting what others do and what they say. It means maintaining high levels of self-respect. It means talking and acting in ways that preserve our own humanity and recognizing that of others. Of course, we know there are points at which respecting what others do and say breaks down, such as when someone breaks the law in their words or actions. However, in most of our everyday exchanges in our university community, respect is owed, and it is inextricably tied to free expression. Respect requires us to accept that others can and will sometimes say things that we feel must be untrue or we know are unkind. Paradoxically, exercising our free expression and respecting each other for exercising that right often brings our differences to light. Conversations about diversity and inclusion challenge all of us deeply. I, for one, continue to feel as though I always have more to learn. So please remember that we cannot be an inclusive university if we do not hold fast to our commitment to respecting each other and to our shared right to free expression. Informed by the conversations regarding diversity and inclusion I've had recently with you, I've decided that hiring a chief diversity officer is so important that the successful candidate will not only report directly to me and serve on my cabinet, but he or she will also hold a vice president title. Thank you. The search is now underway, and I encourage each and every one of you to participate in the search process when the committee brings candidates to campus later this fall quarter. There are many other aspects of this initial draft strategic plan for you to consider. I'm eager to learn what you think about it, what your department thinks about it, your college, your division. I don't think you'll find many surprises when you dig in and read it for yourself or analyze it as a group. Instead, in drafting the plan, we simply tried to bring together in one place the results of planning work which you have completed in the past few years and which has already influenced decisions in the direction of the university. So please, use the feedback page on the strategic planning website to submit your input. In winter quarter, please join us at the forums to discuss the plan. Your input is critical to our collective success as the long-term keepers of the shop and for our students whose relationship to Cal Poly endures long after they graduate and begin their professional lives. So in the last part of my speech, I want to focus on one esteemed member of our community. And of course, you know this person as he's been helping us today, but he comes to mind when discussing Learn by Doing and diversity and inclusion. And that esteemed person, of course, is Phil Bailey. I would like to take some time to honor Phil and talk about some of the ways he has created a culture of inclusion and supported Learn by Doing. As you know, and he alluded to today, Phil recently announced his retirement as Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics. For his faculty and staff and for all students at Cal Poly and alumni and donors, Phil is the epitome of inclusion. I could not admire him more or overstate what he has done for our university. I'm proud to consider him a friend as well. Here are several examples of what Phil habitually does on a routine basis. For department faculty recruitments, as everyone in COSAM knows, Phil asks explicitly about applicants from underrepresented groups and how they have been considered. He encourages his department to recruit in ways that grow the number of applicants from underrepresented groups and to expand their final pools to be as inclusive as possible. He tracks academic probation and disqualification appeals to gather aggregate data that illustrates some of the challenges underrepresented and first-generation students face. He shares this aggregate data with his faculty and staff, as well as he did today at Fall Conference. Both Phil and Tina do not just help students themselves, they share stories about students in need. A few years ago, Phil shared a story at a foundation board meeting about helping students with money for food. That led to the establishment of the food vouchers, which grew to a larger program that includes the food pantry and Cal Poly Cares, funded 100% by all foundation members through the Foundation Fund for Students, a total of $1 million. And as you know, and you heard an example, Phil and Tina's accomplishments in supporting Learn by Doing are also extraordinary. Tina developed the studio classrooms, and Phil championed them. They integrate lecture and labs so that students have the opportunity to apply the material they learn about immediately rather than wait for a lab experience. And how our two award winners are taking that to the next and next level. I believe you said Learn by Doing cubed, right, Seth? And of course, today, I think all of general chemistry is taught in that format. Phil made student research a focus of the college. Student-faculty research, an important feature of our initial draft strategic plan, is written into the expectations and recruitment language for tenure-track faculty in the College of Science and Mathematics. More than 200 students do research with COSAM faculty mentors every summer. Phil also worked hard to seek donors to support scholarships and research. He knows that vision requires implementation. This is very much like what is needed for our strategic plan. Phil started and championed the Study 25 to 35 program for all students at Cal Poly because he believes in and is passionate about the success for all students. Now, I have to digress for a moment because at Phil's and Tina's 50th wedding anniversary, Tina said she was going to flip that when Phil retired, and it's spend 25 to 35 hours with Tina. So we were going to have a big sign made, but we'll save that for later. Phil also oversaw the acquisition of the Cal Poly Pier, which brings Learn by Doing opportunities to over 1,000 students every year and to thousands of grade school students who have had the opportunity to visit. Phil has taken the lead on 3 campus buildings, with faculty offices east being the first. I thought he was around when the student union was built, but he told me he missed that, so we missed that out of 47 years. He not only cultivated many of the relationships that resulted in the Warren J. Baker Center for Science and Mathematics, he also cultivated a relationship with Bill Frost that led to the $20 million pledge for a new building that we will have built in 3-4 years. That's exciting. The science and math section of the new building will be dedicated to undergraduate research. Many leaders are excited to be involved with developing a single new building during his or her career, even one new building during their career. Phil's done it 3 times. That doesn't include all the many, many dollars for renovations. Building 52 is being built from the new inside out. It's amazing. Well, Phil has done more than serve as a lead on 3 buildings. Phil and Tina would never ask others to do something they are unwilling to do themselves. They have given to Cal Poly not only themselves, and while they may not like me sharing this with you, they have also given their own resources to support the buildings that they have promoted. In addition, everyone knows that Phil and Tina have provided academic, emotional, and financial support for many, many students, especially undocumented students. Phil, for all of that, we're going to miss you as the COSAM Dean, but we know, and as he alluded, he's not going to go away. He's still going to be with us, working in lots of other ways. And of course, as you know, Phil and Tina represent the best of Cal Poly. Please join me in thanking them both for their countless contributions to this great Learn by Doing university. That's a lot for Tina and Phil. They're both blushing, but it's important for us to recognize them, and it's important for us to recognize them at this time, at the beginning of Phil's last year. They are emblematic of each of you. So many faculty and staff, all of our faculty and staff, care about each individual student. It's impossible to come up with a number of how many Cal Poly students Phil and Tina have helped over the years. But the number that really matters is 1. Phil and Tina help, and all of you help, 1 student at a time. 1 student at a time. Before closing, I want to share with you one story about one of our students that you all support, Myra Mahia, a graphics communications student. Hers is just one story, but it represents each and every one of the students that you've helped. Please enjoy this video.
Oftentimes you hear the phrase, "Don't judge a book by its cover." What really counts is when you get to know that person and find out their true story. Coming from a first-generation, low-income Hispanic family of 6 children, I was the firstborn in the United States, and that pretty much means my parents hold me at a pedestal when it comes to my education and succeeding in life. My parents are seasonal farm workers, and growing up, I've also had my fair share of working in the fields alongside my siblings. I think that these experiences made me, in a sense, stronger and more motivated to succeed in my college education because I wouldn't want to go back to that. Being a learning assistant in Summer Institute is a really big deal. All the students see you as the role model when coming to Cal Poly. They know that you've succeeded in attaining all the resources possible through EOP, and they pretty much want to do the same. Without Summer Institute and all of the resources that the coordinators and the EOP advisors provided for all of us, I could definitely say that my transition to Cal Poly would not have been as easy as it was. Being a first-generation college student is honestly really difficult because your parents expect you to get A's and B's, but they don't really understand what kind of work you have to put in to receive those grades. Upon my first quarter here at Cal Poly, I remember one night I was studying for an exam and my mom calls me. I remember she was already crying on the phone. She told me that she was looking around at all of my certificates, my awards, my medals from cross country and track and field, and some trophies I had too. In between sobs, she told me how proud of me she was. And at that point, I just broke down. I started crying because it wasn't until I finally came to college that my mom realized and appreciated all the hard work that I had put in through high school to, finally make her say she was proud of me. And that's what makes you realize you're not like the other traditional Cal Poly students. In all honesty, Cal Poly has become my second home. Throughout your journey here, you realize that there's more than just receiving your bachelor's degree. You actually want to make an impact on your community here and be a source of inspiration for those who are like-minded individuals who come from the same background, who are also first-generation college students. People might judge others by what they appear. It's even more important they take a closer look beyond the surface and really get to know them and their story.
Please join me in welcoming Myra Mahia to the podium. Myra.
Wow. I'm sorry if that made some of you cry. It sure made me cry. Good afternoon, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Mayra Mejia, and I am a fourth-year graphic communication major with a concentration in web and digital media. As you are all now aware, I am the product of migrant parents who came to the United States in pursuit of the American dream. A dream that to this day is unknown for many first-generation students who are also in the low socioeconomic factor. Nonetheless, it's a dream that can be attained with the right resources and connections if students and teachers work together. After all, the definition of faculty is an essential mental or physical power. Each year, our campus is slowly becoming more diverse, and it's important to note that there's a story behind every face you see. I've learned a lot during my time here at Cal Poly through the Learn by Doing motto. But our work does not stop there. We can learn by leading, and we can learn by listening. Working with Summer Institute students taught me that as faculty and staff, we have the power to plant the seed that will grow to be the future of our nation for many generations to come. You may not be aware of how much your work and words can impact one student's life, but it is precisely because you hold such power that I ask of you to please be open-minded, patient, and kind to students. Now, really quickly, I'd like to give a sincere thank you to the talented Matt Yoon. Wherever you are, can you please stand up for recognition? I'd like to thank you for making this video possible. You're really talented. I'd like to thank my family watching from in Mexico and back home in Lodi, and all of my supporters back in Lodi for instilling in me good morals and virtues, and for showing me the meaning of hard work and dedication. I'd like to thank the Summer Institute and EOP staff for always making me feel welcomed and at ease with their resources. And finally, my closest friends and loved ones for being my biggest supporters here at Cal Poly, my home away from home. Now, I bet you're all really anxious to get to the reception because you probably need a bathroom break like I do, or, or maybe just a snack on something, but being a graphic communication major, I've just been really involved with the new emerging technologies, so I just want to capture this moment. On the count of 3, can I please have all of you say, "We are Cal Poly"? 1, 2, 3. We are Cal Poly. I hope nothing but the best for us all this academic school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Myra. We are Cal Poly proud of you, and we're glad that you chose to come to Cal Poly and to learn by doing. And we're committed to you for now and on out. So it's going to be a great year at Cal Poly because of you, what you've done in the past and what you're going to do because of your shared commitment, purpose, dedication, and passion. Colleagues, thank you. Now I simply say, enjoy the reception. Congratulations on a good year.
The awardees to please stay. The rest of you have a great time. I want you to know that we were right on schedule until the president started talking about me.